G'day gentlemen, thanks for tuning in once again. I'll probably put a different recording, a different type of recording together this time round, just more like an update and pretty much to give you guys an insight on what's happening in my life and what's happening in Australia. For example, domestic violence, it's really going hard. The people that pull the strings in Australia are really pushing domestic violence out there to the masses via radio, television, whether it be news, whether it be a program with some little bits of writing running across the screen at the bottom. Since domestic violence received $200 million in government funding a few months ago, all hell has broken loose in Australia. It just does not stop. And the funny thing is, I wake up at 4:30 in the morning every day, except for Sundays. I wake up about 7 in the morning. I've got my alarm clock set, and I've got this radio station that pretty much when the alarm hits 4:30, the alarm goes off. I can hear a radio station playing in the background and some beeping happening at the same time. The last 5 days, I've pretty much woken up to this radio station talking about domestic violence. 5 days straight in a row, the last 5 days, last week pretty much. And yeah, man, it's really sickening, pretty much over it. And yeah, I don't see why the rest of the world isn't over it yet. It's just a head doer. Now, on Wednesday, something pretty cool happened in my life and with the boys that pretty much I grew up with going back to high school. We had a reunion and pretty much most of the boys showed up. It was awesome at a restaurant in a local place. Pretty much in my year, there was 4 of us cousins, 4 of us from my family, and it was strange. 3 of us are divorced. Man, I know that, but I never looked at it like that. There was a lot of guys there, my mates from school, in this reunion that are divorced. Believe it or not, the richest guy was my friend who remained single. He was the richest. He owns 2 houses, he owns property, he owns a lot of cars, etc., etc. So he's accumulated a lot of wealth. Good for him. I'm happy for him. Just to show you that, if you just do the math, if you go your own way, I don't know if he's actually gone his own way in that sense. You do the math. It's common sense for him to be the richest guy because he had no one in his life in that way to spend money on, and just to let you know, that was actually his decision, his choice by choice. Also, my friend, who I'll call Billy, was also there. I saw Billy quite a lot after we left school. I saw him a few times at the markets, on a weekend market, and he was pretty much ranting on about this thing with regards to how times have changed. Times are changing, especially since the old days back at school, which was around 20 years ago, and comparing him to now, how back then the way he perceived it was men would extend their hand to other men if men were down, and they'd lift them up and they'd get them out of the rut that they were in. But today it's not I extend my hand out or they extend their hand out to pull someone out of the rut. No, it's you get a gun and boom, 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 and you shoot them and you make sure that they stay down. And if after you've shot them, they're still alive, no, you pull out a gun, you make sure that person is down and out. And it's really sad because I know he's speaking in metaphor, and it's pretty much the way it really is though. Maybe we just didn't see things for the way they really are. Back then, maybe they were always like that. Maybe they weren't, but that's how it feels. Specifically how my friend Billy feels about things. He's gone through a few hard things, a few hard times in his life as well, which I'm not going to go into because I think he probably wouldn't want me to. It's a little bit personal, and he's a nice bloke as well. But I'll move on. Gets me to government influence, because I think that government is connected in some way or another. And government is, in my opinion, the super alpha male. So the super alpha male influence is involved, being the government. Domestic violence. Can you believe it that now there's something called domestic violence leave. It hasn't been implemented yet. It doesn't exist yet. But we have our Labor leader of Australia, who wants to introduce, if he is elected as Prime Minister, domestic violence leave, where, and I'll say it blatantly, whereas if a female, because no male's going to go for domestic violence leave, and he's going to be laughed and shamed, so nothing of that sort is going to be put forth. Where a female has experienced domestic violence, whether it be real, whether it be fake, she can be granted domestic violence leave, get paid, stay at home because she's been through domestic violence. Now, what is domestic violence? It's very, very loose. It could just be someone inside the house has said some rude things to her, pretty much swearing under the Duluth model, just the emotional domestic violence. It doesn't have to be violence, but we'll just slap violence, make sure it's got a capital V, and call it DV, domestic violence. Introducing now into this subject ADVOs. ADVOs, apprehended domestic violence orders, soon will also be changed in their wording. Their wording will be much more simpler, and we will have to educate men, make sure that they understand the ramifications of breaching an apprehended domestic violence order. So what we'll do is we'll simplify the wording and make sure that men understand the repercussions of breaking or breaching these ADVOs. Why the hell do men actually get involved with females? If men knew all of this, men that are in the blue-pilled world, if they knew what's going on, would they still even go in and get involved with females? I mean, the ultimate solution for stopping domestic violence, real domestic violence, or whether it be real or fake, is pull out. Don't get involved. Stay out of relationships. What's the alpha male going to do? The super alpha male going to do after that? They can't do nothing, because pretty much you'll be drying there. They'll be yelling for you to come back to the plantation. They'll be sucking up to get back to the plantation, which for me ain't happening. Not going back. But anyway, what I've noticed is the more desperate governments, specifically the Australian government here, is becoming, the more preposterous it is sounding. I see a lot of stupid things being presented by a lot of leaders in our government, a lot of people that work for organisations, especially White Ribbon, who has been really going hard the last couple of weeks, pushing forth their agenda. They actually embarrassed themselves a few weeks ago with Hazem Masri, where his ex-wife came out and pretty much claimed that he was abusing her, bashing her, assaulting her. White Ribbon is like, he was an ambassador for White Ribbon, but Hazem Masri is no longer an ambassador. He should be shamed. It is embarrassing that we even had him on board. He is no longer an ambassador. And then in the news, it is revealed that his ex-wife was nothing but a liar. They labelled her as a compulsive liar, not just your normal typical female. No, a compulsive liar. Didn't charge her, didn't do anything, just let it slide. Hazem Masri didn't cop an apology from White Ribbon. No. He didn't cop an apology. That was also allowed to let slide. So I've noticed a lot of preposterous things coming out, whether they be from government, whether they be from these organisations, but government specifically. Just to show you how preposterous. they are, and this is all about money, wealth, and power. They pretty much have stated that if we can't introduce a GST increase from 10% as what it is currently to 15%, then we will double the price of cigarettes. A packet of cigarettes already costs just over $20. Some packets cost $25 for a good quality packet of cigarettes. But they will double. A packet of 25 cigarettes to people that are not from Australia will be mind blown. Because I've spoken to some guys in Hangouts, and when I tell them that we pay $20 to $25 for a packet of 25 cigarettes, they're like, what the F? Well, yeah, cigarettes will double. The packet of cigarettes will double to $40, maybe even possibly $50 a packet if we can't increase the GST from 10% to 15%. So where is this all going? What is the truth of this so-called reality that we're living in? Well, for me, whilst on the subject of cigarettes, I quit smoking. I've quit smoking now for 4 weeks. I've stopped smoking for 4 weeks. And I can tell you this much, being a man going his own way helped me quit smoking with ease. I actually quit cold turkey. Didn't have to take any tablets. I just said to myself, you know what, this is my enemy. This packet of cigarettes is my enemy. And no longer will I be paying for my enemy to be bringing me down. And this money that I'm paying, which most of it is actually going into tax, is going to the plantation. Tobacco is grown on a plantation, but this is going to the metaphorical plantation, the blue-pilled world plantation. Nah, that ain't happening. I ain't smoking anymore. So I quit. I've stopped smoking now for 4 weeks. How do I feel? I feel great. Have I felt like wanting to have a cigarette? Yeah, here and there. Do I have any cigarettes left? Yes, I have 1 cigarette, and I've left that in my car. And every time I feel like getting a cigarette, there are 2 things that I do. I get that packet. It has 1 cigarette left in it. I look at it and I say, you know what? I'm not smoking you. You're my enemy. I put it back, then I get some chewing gum. I've got some extra chewing gum. I like extra chewing gum. I love it. Specifically strawberry. And I just chew some chewing gum and I feel great. Will I go back to smoking? Never again. Not if I can help it. My next step is to quit caffeine. Don't want caffeine in my life, because even caffeine isn't so good. A lot of people will tell you, yeah, but well, you know, 1 shot is fine. Well, I don't want any caffeine in my life whatsoever. My relative, a cousin of mine who I love dearly, was over not long ago, a few hours ago, and he was pretty much telling me about his experience in the married world, how government doesn't help. For me, I'm not going back to the blue-pilled world at all. I've made up my decision a long time ago, but I just wanted people to have a taste of, specifically men that are in my position with this type of mindset, because we are a lot of us are men going our own way, but we actually go our own way. This guy's going his way, he's going his way, he's going another way, I'm going my way. That's beautiful, that's fine. It's a wide spectrum, but men that are going a similar path as myself, probably with I'm going to use the terminology of hardcore stance, and don't get me wrong, we're all MGTOW if we've left the plantation, but there's a major contributor that is making it really difficult on the plantation. So if you're on the plantation and you realize that this major contributor that is making it difficult to actually exist or move forward, progress, you realize that this contributor is the government, well, it just pretty much reassures men like myself and yourself, whether you be hardcore or not, that the plantation is not worth it. It is nothing but a struggle. And I'm not saying that my cousin should just pack up his bag and his marriage bags and leave. He's got kids. It's his prerogative. He does what he does, irrespective. If he ever needs me for something that's genuine and honourable, I'm always going to be here for him. He's been there for me when I needed him, so I'm always going to be there for him as well. But it's always good to be reminded about the plantation, and bouncing experiences to one another also helps with enlightening one another. Anyway, guys, look, thanks for listening. Any questions, pop them on the comment section, and I will answer you guys back. Talk to you guys soon.
I'm married, bro. Alright? I've been married for 5 years. Bro, no other guy would be happier with the wife I have. Like, honestly, she does everything for me. Like, she cooks, she does everything. But at the end of the day, the system has got us, both thinking, like, you know what I mean? She's got her life, I've got my life. But at the end of the day, like, we've got it in our heads, it's our kids. The men have it in their heads, it's all about the kids, doesn't matter. We shut up for the kids' sake, you know what I mean, cuz?
Yeah.
Like, I do it for my daughter, my future daughter that's gonna come, and like, what can I say? I shut up, and work another day. And if I don't work, I'll go crazy. So I'm stuck in this game and system where everyone's stuck in the same fucking system, where they have this image where, oh, it's gonna be alright, we fight for our future. At the end of the day, we're only fucking digging our pockets, bigger holes in our pockets, because we're going in more and more debt day by day. We're not realizing, even though we work day by day, we're going more broke. We're going backwards. No matter what, we're going backwards. The system's got us going backwards. The system is going backwards, and we're going with it. And they're dragging us down. And now they want money from the people that are, like, they're the strugglers. You know what I mean? They want all that money back. What's going to be left? We're fucked. We're brainwashed so bad that we don't even see what's actually happening in front of our eyes.